Hi everyone, it's time for another episode of Atoms for the Love of Movie Picks, but this is a very special episode. I realized I haven't done a video in a little while. Sorry, folks, I've kind of been taking a break, but I'm back, and I'm coming back with a very special episode because of how special this particular episode is to me because of the movie that I'm doing. So we are talking about the 1986 hit film Transformers: The Movie. Hence why I'm wearing the Autobot T-shirt. One of my all-time favorite movies ever. In my top five, easy. That is how much I love this movie. And for an animated movie that's based off a children's TV show, or what's supposed to be a children's TV show, there's quite a few hit actors that are in this movie, or well-known actors. You got Orson Welles playing Unicron, Robert Stack playing Ultra Magnus, Leonard Nimoy doing Galvatron. Again, these are voicing them; they're not actually playing them in the movie. I'm just having a look here. Oh, we got, of course, Peter Cullen voices Optimus Prime, and Eric Idle doing Wreck-Gar, and Judd Nelson voices Hot Rod. So a lot of well-known actors in this movie. Uh, Basically, the premise of this movie in the show, the movie takes place basically between season 2 and 3. So in a movie, you see a lot of. I'll get into it more detail later, but basically, you see a lot of Gen 1 or Season 1, the well known characters kind of die off in this movie. But yeah, it basically takes place between Season 2 and 3 of the actual TV show. One of the things I absolutely love about this movie is the music. It was released in 1986. And like I said, and basically, classic 1980s music, rock, pop, mostly rock. You got some original songs that, as far as I understand, were written just for this movie. You got Stan Bush does the hit song "The Touch." He also does "Dare." I'm going to try and remember most of these without actually having to look at the CD. By the way, the soundtrack for this movie, and I may be a little biased because of how much I like this movie, how much I like 80s music, mostly 80s rock. One of the best movie soundtracks I have ever heard. If you're lucky enough to pick yourself up a copy or even just download it digitally, just do it, folks. You'll be doing yourself a favor. If you like rock music, 80s music, highly recommend this soundtrack. So besides those two songs by Stan Bush, you've got Instruments of Destruction by NRG. You've got of course, the Transformers theme, but done in a more rock version by the band Lion. And two songs by Spectre General, Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way, and Hunger. Um, as well as a Weird Al original, which is very rare, Dare to Be Stupid. Basically, an interesting tidbit for you, though, and something that as for as long as I've known about this movie, and the number of times I've watched this movie and heard this music, I did not know this. Spectre General is just the band only exists for this movie. And basically, what it is it's the band's name is actually they're a Canadian rock band called Kick Axe. They were forced to change their movie or change their name for the movie because, as far as I understand it, Kick Ass sounded too much like Kick Ass, or maybe they just didn't like the accent or something with their name, that because it was mostly a children's movie, they didn't want to have their actual name on the CD. So they made them change it to Spectre General. For the longest time, I was trying to find other music by Spectre General because the two songs they do for this movie are just phenomenal. And I couldn't figure out why I could never find any other songs by Spectre General. Well, that is the reason. Because the band's name is actually Kick Axe. Great Canadian rock band. They have 4 albums, as far as I understand it. Yeah, check out some of their music. Kick Axe, great band. And great music for this movie. That's one of the things I love about this movie is the music. But more on what else is great about this movie in a moment. All right, folks, I'm back. Just to summarize this movie, the basis of this movie basically is that the Autobots are under attack from their greatest threat ever, the giant transforming planet, basically known as Unicron. Unicron has no allegiance to the Decepticons. He has no allegiance to the Autobots. He just is. He's his own being, just bent on destroying everything in the universe. One of the things that made this movie so great for me personally, and also just made it a hit movie, is that the cartoon was great. Don't get me wrong. I love the Transformers cartoon. I can't knock it per se, but it was still a children's TV show. That was its base premise of what it was about. So it followed some of the guidelines of a children's TV show. Namely, there wasn't a lot of violence, like gratuitous violence, like there wasn't bloodshed or gear oil or parts flying off these Transformers in a violent manner. It was very dumbed down, and they changed that for the movie. Pardon me. And basically, like, they upped the violence. As many times as something would happen to somebody in the TV show, they could have their head blown off or they're, divided up into multiple pieces, but they miraculously come back to life. It was the stupidest thing ever. But in this movie, they actually have characters dying. It was just like, you're like, oh my God, did that really just happen? Like, I think it's like 15, 20 minutes into the movie, you got some of the most well-known Gen 1 and Season 1 and 2 characters dying off. You got Ironhide's gone. He dies. Ratchet's gone. He's dead. Brawn, he's gone. And I believe that the other one that dies when they're on the shuttle is Prowl. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, it's just like that soon into it, they're actually dying. And it's quite shocking. Then you get to it's crazy, like half an hour into the movie, not even a half an hour. You get to what, in my mind, is not only the best scene of the movie, but one of, if not the best scenes in all of Transformers history. I'm not just talking the 80s original cartoon. I'm talking real life movies. I'm talking all the TV shows that have come since. It's just one of those things that, in my opinion, and again, I may be biased, but that you can't beat. The fight between the Decepticons and the Autobots at Autobot City, where a lot of quite a few more of the Gen 1 characters are killed off. Wheeljack is killed off. Cliffjumper, or not Cliffjumper, I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Windcharger is killed off. Quite a few of the Gen 1, or the Season 1, Gen 1, or Season 1 and 2 Gen 1 characters are killed off as well. And yeah, it's quite shocking. And then you got the ultimate finale to this battle between Megatron and Optimus. Now, there have been many fights between Megatron and Optimus leading up to this point. One either runs away or manages to escape. Pardon me. And basically, it's never really one or the other really won with any finality or, to put an end to it. That changes in this one. Megatron is mortally wounded, and one of the greatest death scenes, not just in Transformers, but in my opinion, again, call me biased, in movie history. The fact that it's a cartoon does not even seem to matter. You forget it's a cartoon. You are pulled in emotionally. If you have any ties or like to the Transformers, especially, like I was, unfortunately, this is one of the movies that I wish I was alive to see as a child in the movie theater when it came out. If you were fortunate enough to see this as a kid, or like I will see it later on, the death scene of Optimus Prime it's unreal how emotional it is, considering this is a cartoon robot in a movie from the 80s. Like how emotional it is when he dies, how dramatic it is to the movie. It's quite something. And the Autobots are left wondering, what are we going to do? They basically take off from space, or take off into space to basically find this Unicron, because at the beginning of the movie, you see Unicron attacking this unknown planet of unknown robots. And he's on his way to Cybertron. He's going to attack Cybertron next. So they take off from Autobot City on Earth to go after Unicron to protect Cybertron. Basically, Ultra Magnus becomes their leader temporarily to lead the what's left of the Autobots against Unicron. And eventually, the young Autobot Hot Rod rises to the ranks and is granted the Matrix of Leadership and becomes Rodimus Prime. But before all that happens, and before I get to the finale of the movie, basically one of the other controversies in this movie I will talk about in just a second. All right, folks. Sorry about that. I am back. One of the disadvantages of recording a live video and having no editing skills, sometimes your phone will ring. So I do apologize about that, folks. So back to what I was saying before we get to the finale of the video and what it's about. One of the other controversial things about this movie, besides the fact that they actually physically kill off characters and killed off one of the biggest characters in the Transformers franchise up until this point, is the controversial shit. Pardon my language, but that's basically what it is the use of a swear word in this movie. At the time, it created such an uproar, more of an uproar than you would think would be such a big deal. But at this point in time in pop culture history, kids' TV shows didn't do things like this. They had Bumblebee use the word shit in the movie, and it's the only swear word in the entire movie. But it created such an uproar. At this point now, it's almost laughable, but at the time, it was not laughable. Parents did not find it funny. I don't know what the big deal was, but yeah, that was definitely an interesting moot point in it. So yeah, you get to the finale. They've gone through their adventure and various things that have happened, and yeah, you get to the finale, and epic fight scene at the end. They beat Unicron. And all is well in the Transformers universe, and they reclaim Cybertron. Basically, the war is over. They've defeated the Decepticons, and all is well. So, yeah, if you haven't seen the Transformers, the movie, the original from 1986, do yourself a favor. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. If you have seen it, watch it again, folks. You can't go wrong. And basically, yeah, you can find it on any streaming platform. You can find it in any video store. I'm not sure if it's available on any streaming platforms, but certainly check it out. Can't go wrong. You can probably find it on YouTube. In terms of age groups, it's even though with the one swear word and the character deaths, I'd still say PG-13 and higher is okay. I would recommend it. Transformers the movie, one of the greatest movies of all time in my opinion. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. Have yourselves a good one, folks. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care.